Hey guys, welcome back to another review. This time it's not anime, so that's a plus. We're going to be reviewing the new Elden Ring Nightreigne. You wouldn't be here if you didn't see the title, so you know that. From Software, the Elden Ring series, which was the original Elden Ring game, and then the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Recently came out with the online multiplayer game. There is a solo option, but most people are playing online. Multiplayer game where you basically go on boss rushes. If you don't know anything about the game, I'm not going to go too much into the actual mechanics of the gameplay or anything to do with the storyline, because to be honest, I don't play most Souls games for the storyline. I play them to kill bosses. So I'm not I'm not super well versed on the overall lore of Elden Ring. I'm versed in the Dark Souls lore, but that's just because I watched a 2 hour video clip on it, but I don't know too much about the Elden Ring lore. But yeah, we're just a quick rundown of the game, and a quick review of the game overall. We're gonna talk about some of the character types and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get right into it. So just overall, what I think of the game, I think the game is great. I think there was a lot of people who were anticipating something a little bit different and were not let down. I could be wrong on that. There was a lot of initial hate. A lot of people were really worried because From Software has never released a game like this before, where it's a multiplayer boss rush style thing. There's a storm circle that's coming in, kind of like a Fortnite game. So people weren't expecting the greatest thing. A lot of people were worried. I know a few of my personal friends were not too happy about what they were hearing, and they were talking a little bit of shit. I personally have always had the wait till it comes out mentality, where I'm not going to sit there and judge based off of BS writers, especially people like IGN who have consistently rated things that were terrible really high and things that were pretty good really low. I'm not going to trust some critic. I'm going to wait until a game comes out, and then I will make my own opinion, as I think mostly everybody should do. So a lot of people were not super happy about what they were hearing, and I was fine with it. Um, from playing the game, I think I have close to 40 hours into it. We already beat the final boss, so we've completed the game. I loved it. I had a great time. The multiplayer function was pretty seamless. The I do have some caveats, but we'll get into those in a minute here. The different characters you could choose from, the different class types, the different weapon types you could use, which was hundreds. It was awesome. There's very few class types. You have your basic tanks, your magicians, your summoners, your, well, when I say magicians, I mean your sorcerer, your melee fighters, you have a bunch of different, you have archers, you have a bunch of different classes you can choose from. Me personally, I was executor. For the majority of the game, I did try out Duchess. Both characters are really good because they're high dex, which is the kind of characters I like to play. The Iron Eye, which is the archer, he's also high dex. I'm just not a huge archer fan. Not that he's not a good character; he's a great character, especially a support character. If you don't have an Iron Eye on your team, might as well quit out. Um, but yeah, so there was a lot of different characters, a lot of different classes, and hundreds of bosses to fight. Through going to specific summoning areas where you could use a key to release a boss from this circle. It's like, a circle summon area. It has an actual name, but I'm assuming, if you're watching this, maybe you don't know the content too well. It's an Evergoal is the name, but anyways, hundreds of boss types. And a lot of them are from past games. You have the Godskin Peelers, which were an enemy that I hate. I hate the Godskin duo. I hated them in the Elden Ring series. You have your magma worms, or whatever the fuck they're called, the magma dragons. You had your tree sentinels, and then you had some new enemies included as well. So it was, overall, they did take their time, and they did think about the multiplayer function. I would give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. I would rate it higher, but the caveats are the only reason why I'm not giving it that. If it came out with these things, it would have a higher rating. So we'll hop into the caveats, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the gameplay after I go to the caveats, because I said the rating, so I might as well just get into them. So my first big issue with the game is the fact that there's not a duos function. I understand that the game was built around a 3-player run, but the thing is, three people is really hard to get together for a boss rush, especially if you don't get it the first time, because these matches take about 45 to 50 minutes to get to the final boss in each, sequence. So what happens is you pick the boss that you want to fight, and then you have 3 days. So your first day and your second day are all about acquiring as many souls as you can and leveling up. And then your third day is your actual boss fight. So through those first 2 days, which are not that long, you are just rushing, trying to get as many souls as you can so you can level up, get the gear you need to fight the boss. And then the third day you fight this boss. And getting 3 people to be able to spend, 45 minutes, 50 minutes just to get to the last boss is not easy. Unless you want to play with a rando. But the thing is that there is no voice chat function, which is my issue number 2. So unless you can get 3 friends who can consistently have, multiple hours just to do 1 or 2 bosses, you're kind of at a disadvantage where you're only going to be really playing like every other couple days. And then if you do go with randos, you won't be able to talk to them. And when you're trying to rush through this world, trying to acquire souls by running to bosses and stuff, and this random person you're with has different ideas on where they want to go or what equipment they might need and stuff like that, if you can't communicate to convey, I need to go here, then you're just using your pinging system, like, I want to go here, and then you have to hope that the other 2 people that are with you are going to come along with you to help you beat the boss that's in this area, because this game is scaled for 3 people. So yeah, those are my 2 major caveats with it. I do have a couple nitpicks, like I do believe the first 2 nights could be just maybe like 5 to 10 minutes longer. I get it, it's already long, they don't want to make it too much longer, but I do feel like for newer players, it's going to be a lot harder to get to those higher levels, like your 13, 14, and 15, to, stand a better chance against the final boss with the amount of time, because it's quick. It's quick. Or have a function where if you take on this boss, you can see where the storm circle is going to go during the later on in the night, because there's a storm circle, and as storm is pushing in, you can only hit certain things on your way into the circle, right? It's kind of like Fortnite or PUBG, a lot of other battle royals. If you could see where your storm circle is to be, you could allocate your time a little better. Like, I don't need to spend time in this area because it'll be in circle, and that could be through beating a boss or something like that. Just small nitpicks. Other than that, the game is great. I had a great time. Like, just we need to go here, kill this boss, screaming chaos. The typical Souls game, except now you're enjoying it with your buddies without needing to use some kind of summoning functionality like an Elden Ring. It was a lot of fun. I don't have a lot of caveats, a lot of things that I didn't care for in the game. It was very minor nitpicky stuff, except for, like I said, the no duos and the no voice chat is a pretty big one. But those things can get, added. I wish they would have been released with the game initially, but I'm not going to sit here and complain my ass off over it. I don't know what the devs were thinking. I don't know what their plan was. Maybe they had a reason they set it up that way. But it doesn't work with the type of, with what they're trying to do, right? If you want a duo, it's a lot easier to call a buddy and like, hey, can you get on, than it is to call 2 buddies and say, hey, can you get on? So yeah, it's not anything major. I think the game did exactly what it was supposed to do. I think that the choices in the characters they give you, which is Wilder, Guardian, Iron Eye, Duchess, Raider, Rev, your Executor, which was me, which is he's a melee, he's like a frontliner. I think they did great with those. If you'd like to learn more about those, I'm sure there's another video out there that'll go deeper into them. I only really played Executor and Duchess, and I did play Iron Eye a little bit, so I don't know too much about the other characters, so I'm not going to speak on them. Iron Eye is he's an archer with high dex, and he's good at revives, good at stagger with his special, because every character has a unique special. Duchess, she's just really, really quick and has daggers. Like that's really her only thing. Her special's kind of lame in my opinion. It makes you invisible, which is cool for reviving people. But other than that, doesn't really have a lot of functionality. And then Executor, his shit was my favorite. He's a high dex melee fighter. His special is he literally turns into a monster. Like he just fucking wolfs out type shit. And then his secondary is a cursed sword that you can parry with. Like I said, we did beat the game. I'm not going to go too much in the ending because it's still pretty new, and I'm sure there's people who are still struggling to get to the end. The final boss is crazy hard, so good luck with that. He has 2 full health bars, so again, good luck, but you will get him. It took us about 4 tries. 4 real tries. We didn't have the best runs. So, yeah, he's a hard boss, but it's good. The ending is very simple. You know, you go, you offer, spoiler, you offer up the, this item that you've acquired. Again, I'm not going to go too much into spoilers, and then you fade off. You know, it's nothing crazy. The lore is not too deep in with the ending, so if you're expecting more, I wouldn't. This just seems like a fun game to play with your friends, and like I said, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's worth the money. It's $40. They were charging $60 for a Golem like a year and a half ago, which was one of the worst games released in the last 10 years. So I don't think they're asking for too much for a fun multiplayer game. The DLC, I'm not sure about the actual release. I know one is coming out, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure we can talk more about it then. But until then, hope you guys will stick around for more content. Hope you like the content. Hope you subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. If there's anything you think I missed that I should have touched on, sorry. Just wanted to make a quick review. I wasn't going to go too deep into everything, mechanic-wise and stuff like that. Maybe I could make a different video more on the mechanics and stuff if that's what you guys want. Just leave it in the comments, but this is just a quick review. Again, 7.5, good game, definitely worth getting. We'll see you guys in the next one.